Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's class is going to be just a full body recovery session. It's perfect for an active rest day or a day after you've had a game or a hard workout. I'm pretty sore today, so I'm super excited to be practicing with you all. For today's class, I will recommend that you have a block or a block-like object, and I usually like to recommend a blanket just if you have sensitive knees. We will be on our knees for a little bit today. So let's just jump right into it. Find a comfortable seat on your mat, and for you, this might mean kneeling or sitting on a block or a blanket if you have tight hips. And I like to start all of my classes with a pranayama, which is a breathing exercise. Since today is all about recovery, I want to do a breathing exercise that will help promote parasympathetic nervous system activation, which is the branch of the nervous system that goes into action when you are resting. So this helps a lot with recovery. To do so, we are going to focus on extending our exhale. So the ratio that we're going to use for today's breath is inhale for a count of 2, exhale for a count of 4, and I will guide you through the first one. Ready? So inhale, 2, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Follow along with your own count for a few more rounds. As you inhale, work on lengthening up through the spine. And as you exhale, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Feel your breath. And throughout today's practice, remember that the breath is our priority. And as we work through the poses and the stretches, feel for coming back to the exhale and extending the exhale. One more round. Inhale. Exhale. And meet me on all fours, perpendicular to your mat. We're going to take gate pose. So extend the left leg out to your side, pressing the tops of the back foot into the mat. Lift your torso up above your legs. We're going to get a little dynamic here to start flowing our blood through our body, and we're going to hold a pose for the inhale and then exhale as we transition through the dynamic movement. And we're going to do a few repetitions of poses like this. So take the right hand down to the mat, out from your hip, and reach the left arm up over your ear. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, transition, windmill the left arm to the left leg, reach the right arm up overhead. Inhale. And then as you exhale, transition back to the first variation. Take a full inhale here. And then exhale as you transition. Take a couple more rounds with the pace of your own breath. Feel for activating the hands, spreading the fingers wide. And then meet me back at center. Bring both knees under you and switch sides, extending the right leg out long off to the side. Pressing the top of your left foot into the mat or the floor, and then reaching the left hand down to the mat, reaching the right arm up overhead. Inhale. And then exhale, lift through your core, reaching the left arm up over your ear. Inhale. Exhale, windmill the top arm down and reach up towards the ceiling with the right hand. Take a few more rounds of this on your own. Be careful as you bring the right hand down to the leg, not to place it directly on your knee. That puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on that joint. So go either above or below it. And one more round. Meet me back at center. Now we are going to stand up into a wide leg stance. And we're going to take some lateral lunges following the same pattern. So as you sit back in your lunge, inhale, hold it here, and then as you exhale, shift over to the other side to transition. Flowing with the movement of your breath. It's very beneficial in sport to have that control over your breathing. I definitely feel like I'm getting warmed up here. Take a few more rounds of breath, pressing your feet into the mat. And then meet me in tabletop, back down on your mat. Exhale, bring the toes together, sit the hips back for child's pose. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, transition into cobra, reaching the chest up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, push the hips back and back to child's pose. If cobra doesn't work for your low back, as you exhale and transition, lift up onto your toes and come into plank pose. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, sit back, child's pose. Take a few more rounds of breath here as we get the blood flowing and we're warming up. Just feel for keeping your breathing consistent. This is a recovery class, so once again, the breath is the priority. And then meet me back on all fours. We'll do some stretches here. So we'll start with pigeon pose. Bring the left knee up to the left wrist and extend the right leg back behind you. If pigeon pose does not feel comfortable to you, there are lots of variations that we can take. You can use either your block or your blanket to support your hip, or you can roll over onto that hip and come into deer pose, in which you have both of your knees bent. Pigeon is really hard to find a comfortable position for a lot of people because a lot of people have really tight hips, especially athletes. So it's important to find the pigeon that is comfortable for you before you allow yourself to come deeper into the stretch. So please take a moment to find what works for you. Usually I like to support myself with a block or a blanket. And then you are invited to fold over your pigeon if you would like. Walk your hands back to your hips and then unwind the left leg, coming back into tabletop. And we will switch sides. So bring your right knee to your right wrist and find the pigeon or deer that is comfortable to you in your body on this day. And if you would like, you're invited to fold over and come deeper into the stretch. Breathe here. Walk your hands back up towards your hips. Remove any props and then unwind the right leg. Meet me in a seated straddle position. So take your feet out as wide as is comfortable for you. Inhale, turn towards the right foot, sit up tall through the spine, and as you exhale, fold over that leg. As you inhale, lengthen through the spine one more time. And as you exhale, feel for folding just a little bit deeper into the stretch. Keeping both of your feet active and flexed. Pressing the palms of your hands into the mat. Inhale, walk your hands back to center. Turn towards the left leg. Sit the spine up tall. And then exhale, fold over. Once again, take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, fold over the left leg. Pressing through the ball and heel of both feet, staying active here will really help to stretch out the hamstrings. Inhale, walk the hands back to center, and then exhale, fold towards the front of the mat, or the side of the mat, I guess, depending how you're sitting. Inhale one more time, lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, gently fold deeper into the stretch. Inhale, walk your hands back to center. And then rotate onto your back. We'll take reverse tabletop. So walk your feet in towards your butt. Your fingertips could be pointed towards your hips as you exhale and lift them up towards the ceiling. But if that is not comfortable for you, if that stretch is too intense, you can turn your fingertips out towards the sides of the mat or just lift your hips a little bit. I like this pose because you can really make it as, well, I mean, I hate this pose because my shoulder mobility is so bad, but I like this pose because of how you are able to kind of adjust the stretch depending on what you need in this moment. It's such a good stretch, but I don't do it enough. Exhale, lower your hips back down to the mat. We'll take the block now for a little bit of a chest opener and place it about 1/3 of the way down your mat and line it up with your upper back. Let your head rest on the floor. Bring your arms out to either side. You have an option to cactus your arms, so bring them out to a 90-degree angle. That will be a little bit more intense for you, or you can just take them out straight to a T. If you want to come even deeper into the stretch, you can extend the legs long. As you inhale, breathe into the upper back. And as you exhale, let your body relax around the block. Feel for the opening sensation in your chest. find your breath here. Exhale, use your hands to pick yourself back up. Remove the block. Come back down onto your back. We'll take figure 4 stretch. So cross the left ankle over the right knee. You can stay here if that works for you, if that's enough of a stretch, or you can clasp your hands behind the right thigh, lifting the right foot up off the mat. Feel for keeping both feet active, reaching through the ball and heel of the foot, pulling your toes back towards your shin. Exhale, release your hands, bring the foot back down to the mat, unwind your legs. Let yourself settle here for a moment. And then cross the right ankle over the left knee, rotating the knee towards the floor to open up through the hip. You can stay here or clasp behind the left leg, pulling your knee in toward the body. Just breathing, relaxing. The stretch should be a little uncomfortable, but not painful. Exhale, release the pose, unwind your legs. And then for our last pose today, this is one of my absolute favorite poses. We will take your arms out to a T. Lift the knees up over the hips. And as you exhale, lower the knees over to the right side, hugging your knees up towards the armpit. If the left shoulder pops up off the mat, that's okay. Keeping your feet flexed and your knees stacked. To come deeper into the stretch, you have the option to rotate your head and gently look out over the left shoulder. Feel for the stretch in the left hip. Breathing through the twist, relaxing your shoulder toward the mat. Pick up the left knee and then the right, letting your spine settle in the middle for a moment before you exhale and lower both knees over to the left side, hugging the knees up towards the armpit. Same thing, keeping the feet flexed. And of course, you have the option to gently rotate your head to look over the right shoulder to come just a little bit deeper into the twist. Pick up the right knee and then the left, planting both feet back down on the mat, allowing the spine to settle for a moment. I will invite you to take some little windshield wipers, bringing the knees down to each side, just to unwind the spine before we come into Savasana. When you feel ready, bring both arms to your side, palms facing up, and extend your legs long down the mat. I invite you to return to the pranayama that we were practicing at the beginning of class. Inhaling for a count of 2 and exhaling for a count of 4. Allow this breathing to guide you into your final relaxation pose. You're invited to stay here for as long as you would like, but that is the end of the guided instruction for today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's class. And as always, until next time, eat well, sleep well, recover well, and I hope to see you back soon.